As you could see earlier, we're in the middle of the monsoons right now, and it rained for a few days in the past week. And actually I wanted to use this opportunity to go into the mountains to Seven Falls, which are some beautiful waterfall structures there. But I had to change my plans because I'm just 3 weeks away from going to Brazil and I still don't have data. It's like the story of my PhD. I'm very close to get like preliminary data, but nothing that I could present on a poster. So I will just have to work again. I think like I did in my master's thesis, just from morning till evening. So in about 1.5 hours I will head to uni and maybe, hopefully, do the first trial that I will then use for a poster. So my plan is that I will hopefully do 4 colonies, 3 days each in the next 2 weeks. And then I will still have 1 week for data analysis, which is not enough. Because then I will also have to print the poster in the last week, probably the day before I fly. Now until I go to uni, I will have to finish writing this code that gives me like summaries. So that is the last step before I can then do real statistics on the data. And hopefully that all goes automatically. I wrote myself a pretty extensive to-do list, which also serves as a sort of time plan or timetable. So I'm already behind, but yeah, this is gonna be a long day. I'm losing my way through this dark. First item on my list, colony transfer and food out of other colonies. In every way. I'm losing my way. Second item on the list is making my arena boundaries look uniform and taking another round of calibration images. Hopefully the only one for this experimental series with these 16 days if the gluing actually worked. Now removing the posters for calibration purposes and replacing the whole paper, which will be annoying. It is annoying because it has to be perfect, you know, the ends are so tiny, and if I leave any cracks open between the individual paper lanes, then they're gonna crawl under it and everything was for nothing. Through this darkness, she was heartless. Next up, transferring the calibration images to my PC so that I can work on that while the ends are running. And finally, I can start this experiment. Yeah, I created these paper overlays because they are easier to make, cheaper, and more reproducible, and yeah, easier to clean, that is, to throw away. It was still fun making this other volcano though. Seems like there are already a few ants waiting to go out, so that's great, because usually I have to wait for 20-30 minutes until the first ant actually steps out. But now that means that I will get some lunch earlier, because it's already 1:30 or so and I'm pretty exhausted. At least my legs are. In every way, losing my way. Nice! This is now my great break, the lunch break, and I feel exhausted but also pretty excited, to be honest. Because it feels again like in other projects, like in my bachelor thesis or so, when I was just doing stuff and doing experiments, and I'm pretty confident that I can get somewhat good data from this experiment now. So this is what I was describing in a few vlogs ago, that I just was longing for this daily routine Maybe I will have that, but it's also not gonna be a lot of free time. My back hurts. That was a rejuvenating break. Now it's time to swipe the ants in and get the SD cards. Alright, I'm counting more than 18 ants outside, so I think this was a good run. Alright, that's running until tomorrow, and then I'm gonna come back and do it all again. Not all. Half of what I've been doing. While I was preparing the arena, I realized that I was constantly losing hair from my legs, which could be an obstacle for the ants, so for science. Yeah, this hair cutter sucks. The battery lasts for like only a few minutes. Guess that's my style now. Alright Greg, where are we going and what are we doing?
We are going to Mount Lemon to go collect some ant queens. I think it's, what, Mosino Basin or something like that, the very top. Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty nice. We are gonna put them in little tubes that have about this much water at the very end. There's a little tiny cotton cork, and we're just gonna pick them up with little forceps by their legs, stick them in there, put a little tiny piece of cotton on the front to block them in, and they're just gonna stay there for months.
I'm losing my way through this darkness. She was heartless.
You got something in there.
What do we got already?
That's a good one. Oh, flew away.
Yeah, nice. I don't want to get bit.
Something.
That does look like, yeah, that looks like an ant.
Oh.
You see, he's got the antennae, so he's not a dragonfly and he's not a dragonfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
There we go. Another one. Whoops. Off dead.
That's alright, I got a couple of big ones. The big one's alright. Pretty big one. That beetle is just like...
I'm losing my way. I'm losing my way through this darkness.
Yeah, I'm like sticky in weird places.
I'm glad you guys were able to come out.
Yeah, well, it's just
It was a pleasure.
It's a nice break away from everything and just.
Yes. There's somehow such a different feel to life right now. So it's not super hot anymore, and instead it is relatively humid, and it even rains. Yeah, right now there are some drops falling down, but it's not really raining. It feels and also smells a bit like in a greenhouse, like in a tropical greenhouse, and I always enjoy those. Most importantly is that the sky is overcast, or at least there are clouds, so the lighting is just so different, so the world looks just different, and it's exactly that kind of change that I also was missing a lot, because if you have just sunny skies and like 40 degrees, or it's really hot every day for months, then you're kind of missing, you know, winter or rain or like bad weather. Like this is kind of bad weather, but it's awesome weather. Talking about feels, it feels really good being in the middle of a longer continuous experimental phase and out of this baby steps trial and error phase that I was in until last week. I took a very first glimpse at the data and yeah, it looks promising. But more on that next week, because right now I'm running loads of code at once and hope that the computer doesn't crash. It will definitely also feel good to have you tune in for my next episode. So see you next week. Oh man, focus, focus.